This video is about she was his moon but his pack wanted the sun. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low over the Bloodstone Valley, painting the world in shades of silver and shadow. The air was thick with energy, the pulse that resonated in Lyra's chest. She stood at the edge of the forest, her heart beating in time with the distant howls that called to her very soul. The moon was her companion, a silent witness to her longing. A rustle broke the stillness. Lyra turned, her heart skipping at the sight of him, Kieran, the alpha of the Silverclaw pack. His presence was magnetic, a force that pulled her closer even as she fought against it. "You shouldn't be out here alone, Lyra," he said, his voice deep and smooth, like a river flowing through her veins. "I can take care of myself," she shot back, her defiance thinly veiling the tremor of her emotions. Kieran's eyes, a striking shade of stormy grey, searched as a dance of power and vulnerability. "Your strength is not in question, but this isn't a safe place for an Omega." He stepped closer, the air crackling between them. Despite being the alpha, he had always treated her like an equal, a rarity in the werewolf hierarchy. Her heart ached as she whispered, "You know the packs want to accept me, Omega, that is all I am." The word tasted bitter on her tongue, a label that held her back from the life she craved. Kieran's expression darkened. "You are so much more than a title, you are my moon." His voice dropped, reverberating with a raw intensity that sent shivers down her spine. The moonlight framed them in a celestial glow, yet doubt lingered just beyond it. "Your pack needs the sun, Kieran," she murmured, her heart heavy with the weight of her place in their world. "I am nothing but shadows to them." The truth stung, a reminder of the hierarchy that loomed over them both. He stepped back, the distance between them a chasm that echoed with unspoken words. "Lyra, don't say that. The bond we share," he began, but she cut him off, the instinct to protect herself rising fiercely. "And what bond is that? The one they will never accept." Tears stung at her eyes. "I can be the reason for your downfall. I want to be a burden." The fear of rejection wrapped around her heart, squeezing until it hurt. Kieran's jaw clenched, his wolf fighting against the constraints of reason. "You are not the burden, you are my mate." His declaration hung in the air, heavy and potent. At that moment, the world narrowed to just the two of them. The moonlight seemed to sparkle with the promise of destiny, that reality was a cruel mistress. "But you read the alpha. You need a strong mate, someone to stand beside you in strength, not weakness." "Lyra, I don't care about their expectations." Kieran's voice was fierce, the growl barely contained. "You make the moon rise in my chest. Without you, the sun feels distant." The words wrapped around her heart and squeezed, igniting a flicker of hope. But a shadow of doubt loomed larger. "What about the pack? They want to allow it. They want you to be with someone who can lead, someone they can rally behind." A flicker of frustration crossed his features. "No one can lead like you do, Lyra. You may be an Omega, but your heart is fierce. You inspire loyalty." "But loyalty doesn't change bloodlines," she whispered, the reality of the situation crashing down on her. She watched as Kieran's brow furrowed, a storm of emotion brewing behind his eyes. "Then I'll fight for you," he vowed, stepping forward as if the distance had never existed. "I'll take on the entire pack if I have to. You are worth it." The desperation in his voice sent her heart racing, but she also felt the weight of the world press down on her. "What would that mean, Kieran? Would you risk everything? Your position? Your pack?" His gaze was unwavering, filled with determination that both thrilled and terrified her. "I would risk everything for you, for us." "No," she gasped, instinctively stepping back. "You can do that?" Fear clawed at her insides, a visceral need to protect him from the inevitable backlash. "We can be together. It is not just you and me, it is the pack. They depend on you." His eyes softened, and he reached out as if to bridge the impossible distance between them. "And what about us? Don't we depend on each other? This connection—" "It is forbidden," she interrupted, her voice cracking. "You know it is. You'll lose everything for a mate who has no place in your world. I would rather have you by my side than a throne without you." Ferocity of his declaration startled her. She had never seen Kieran so openly vulnerable. "You are the one I want, Lyra, the only one." The honesty in his voice cracked her defenses, but the reality of their situation loomed large. "What about your pack? They want to accept me." "They will have to," Kieran insisted, frustration lacing his tone. "If they cannot accept my feelings, then they do not deserve to call themselves my pack." His words hung thick in the air, and Lyra felt the turmoil of emotion swirling around them. Part of her ached for the love he offered, but the fear of rejection and loss loomed larger. You can just change their minds. It's not that simple, Kieran. Tension crackled between them, a delicate balance of longing and fear. What if I can? He challenged, stepping closer. What if I fight for you, for us? Wouldn't that be worth the risk? You don't understand, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It is not just about fighting, it is about the consequences. Lives are at stake. Kieran's expression hardened, a determination that ignited something within her. Then I'll fight for them too. I'll change everything for you. The sincerity in his eyes made her heart flutter, a dance of hope and despair. What if you lose? She pressed, her voice trembling. What if they reject you? What if they turn against you? I would rather face them than live in a world without you. His answer was a low growl, fierce and unwavering. You are my moon, Lyra. I won't let anyone take that from me. The weight of his words pressed down on her. The moon above shone brightly, illuminating the struggle within her heart. And what if I am not strong enough to stand beside you? He cupped her cheek, his touch igniting a spark that traveled through her. You are strong, Lyra, stronger than you know. Trust in the bond we share. Tears shimmered in her eyes as doubt battled with desire. What if we were meant to be apart? Then I will fight fate itself. The raw intensity of his words echoed through the night, resonating deep within her soul. In that moment, she realized the power of their connection, a force that defied the very fabric of their world. The moon shone brighter, illuminating their path, but shadows still lingered. Can you promise me that this won't break you? Lyra whispered, her heart aching with the weight of uncertainty. I promise to fight for you, Lyra, no matter the cost. He pressed his forehead against hers, the warmth of his breath mingling with the cool night air. In that instant, she felt the pulse of destiny wrap around them, a bond that could not be broken. Yet the reality of their world loomed over them, a tempest waiting to strike. As the moon rose higher, Lyra knew that their love would be tested by the pack, by fate, and by the very instincts that drove them apart. But she also knew that what they shared was something truly extraordinary, a force that could conquer the shadows if only they dared to embrace it. But for now, she could only stand in the moonlight, torn between love and fear, caught in the gravity of Kieran's unwavering gaze. In a world where the sun was revered, she was the moon, the one thing he wanted most. But the shadows of their pack loomed ever closer, and the battle for their love was only just beginning. The air around Bloodstone Valley grew thick with the tension of unseen wolves, their whispers swirling through the trees like a gathering storm. Kieran stood resolute, a lion among lambs, his awful aura radiating dominance and a fierce protectiveness. Yet Lyra felt the edges of her resolve fraying, the weight of her Omega status suffocating her dreams. We can stay here, Kieran, Lyra said softly, breaking the silence that hung heavy between them. If your pack finds us. Her voice trailed off, the unspoken fear pooling in her chest. They want just to oppose us, they'll tear us apart. Kieran clenched his fists, his jaw tightening as he stared into the depths of the forest. Let them come, I will show them that love is stronger than any title, than any tradition. His voice echoed with a rawness that sent shivers down her spine. But what if they don't listen? She whispered, stepping closer, her heart battling against the instinct to flee. What if they refuse to accept me? What if they… SHH, he murmured, taking her hands in his. They will listen. They have to. I will make them understand that you are my mate, my chosen one. The heat of his grip reassured her, but doubt still gnawed at her. Your pack is loyal to you, but they respect strength, she countered, her voice wavering. They need to see someone who can lead beside you. They want the sun, Kieran, not the moon. He brushed a thumb across her cheek, and the gentleness of his touch contrasted the storm brewing within her. Lyra, you shine brighter than any sun could hope to. You bring light to my darkness. My pack will see that if I give them no choice. The sincerity in his eyes made her heart ache. But what if they turn against you? What if they challenge your authority? You are the alpha. Your decisions ripple through the pack. The weight of her fears loomed larger, each possible outcome more terrifying than the last. I want you back down, he growled, his voice fierce as a summer thunderstorm. If they choose to defy me, then they will face my wrath. I would challenge anyone for you, Lyra. Her breath hitched at his words, a mix of admiration and fear flooding her senses. You were willing to risk everything? Your position, your pack, everything? Everything. His gaze hardened with conviction, yet a flicker of uncertainty shadowed his features. But I can fight this battle alone. I need you by my side. A soft, tortured laugh escaped her lips, the impossibility of their situation weighing heavily upon her. You need someone powerful, Kieran, someone who can command respect. You're powerful, he interrupted, frustration lacing his tone. How can you not see the strength within you, the way the pack looks to you for comfort, for guidance you bring them peace? I am not an alpha, Lyra said, her voice breaking. I am just an omega, the lowest in the hierarchy, a whisper in the wind. No. Kieran's voice rose, a primal growl rumbling through him. You are my mate, and that alone gives you the strength to stand beside me. You are more than just an omega, you are my heart. Lyra felt the pulse of their bond, a connection that thrummed between them like a heartbeat, yet the shadows gathered, threatening to swallow them whole. What if they want to accept this bond? She pressed, her heart racing. What if your pack demands a blood price? Then let them demand it. He stepped closer, his forehead touching hers, the warmth of his presence enveloping her. I would offer my blood, my life, if it means I can keep you. Her heart raced at the intensity of his words. You can say that lightly. They wouldn't just want your blood. They would want your throne, your power. There is no throne without you, he murmured, brushing his lips against her temple. The warmth of his breath sent a shiver coursing through her. You are my moon, Lyra. I want to let them take that from me. The forest echoed with the distant howls of the Silver Claw pack, a chilling reminder of the reality awaiting them. We should go, she urged, her voice trembling. If they find us here. Stay, he whispered, capturing her gaze. Just for a moment longer. I need to hold on to you before we face them. Lyra's heart swelled, the gravity of their connection pulling her closer to him. Kieran. Before she could finish, he closed the distance between them, his lips crashing against hers with the fervor of 1,000 stars colliding in a blaze of passion. She melted against him, the world around them fading as the kiss deepened, igniting the very essence of their souls. When they finally pulled away, breathless and trembling, Kieran's eyes glimmered with raw emotion. Don't you see, this what we have can change everything. Love can shift the tides. But as she gazed into his stormy depths, she couldn't shake the dread curling in her gut. And what if they try to tear us apart? Then I will fight, he vowed, his voice firm. I will fight for our love, for our future. Together we will forge a new path. Yet even as he spoke with such determination, she could see the flicker of doubt in his eyes. You don't truly believe that, do you? She asked gently, feeling the weight of his fears. I have to believe it, he replied, frustration tinging his voice. If I don't, then what hope do we have? But in that moment, the howling grew closer, a chorus of voices rising in the night air, echoing with the urgency of destiny. They were coming, she breathed, stepping back as panic surged through her. Stay here, Kieran commanded, his tone shifting to an alpha's authority. I'll handle this. No, she protested, her heart racing. I am not going to hide while you face them alone. Lyra, it's dangerous, he growled, but the fire in her chest ignited as she held his gaze steady. The only danger is if you face them without me. You are not alone in this. We are in this together. His expression softened, a mix of admiration and concern. You are risking everything, Lyra. And so are you, she replied, stepping forward with determination. I refuse to let fear dictate our fate. We face this together. With a reluctant nod, he took her hand, their fingers intertwining as they stepped away from the safety of the trees, ready to confront the pack that awaited. The moon illuminated their path, casting a silvery glow around them, and Lyra felt the pull of destiny urging them onward. As they emerged from the shadows, the Silver Claw pack stood before them, a sea of watchful eyes and discordant energies. Kieran's pack members shifted uneasily, glancing between the Alpha and the Omega at his side. Alpha Kieran, one of them barked, a tall and muscular wolf with dark fur. What is going on? You've gone too far this time. Lyra's heart raced as she took a deep breath, ready to stand her ground. I am not afraid, she whispered to Kieran, squeezing his hand. Kieran's grip tightened around her, the strength of his resolve flowing between them. This is Lyra, he announced, his voice steady. And she is my mate. A collective gasp rippled through the pack, disbelief etched on their faces. But she is an Omega. The another wolf spat, disbelief mingling with anger. You can be serious. There is no hierarchy in love, Kieran shot back, his voice cutting through the rising tension. You will respect her, for she brings out the best in me. Without her, I am nothing. Your position is at stake, Kieran, the dark-furred wolf growled, his eyes narrowing. You would risk the entire pack for a mere Omega. Yes. Kieran's voice rose, a primal roar that sent chills through the crowd. If you cannot accept that, then you do not deserve to be part of my pack. A hushed silence enveloped them, and Lyra felt her heart quicken as she faced the sea of wolves. I understand that I am not what you expect, she said, her voice steady and unwavering. But I love Kieran more than anything. He makes me stronger. A murmur rippled through the pack, the resistance wavering as they considered her words. Love is powerful, Lyra continued, her heart pounding in her chest. It can change the world, it can break down walls. Finally, one wolf stepped forward, a silver-furred female with piercing blue eyes. If you truly believe in this bond, then perhaps we should give it a chance. Her voice was calm, yet filled with authority. Let the moon and the sun find their place in this pack, she declared. Let love be our guide. The air shimmered with tension as Lyra stood before the Silverclaw pack, the weight of her Omega status feeling heavier than ever. Hearing fierce declaration echoed in her heart, a potent reminder that love could shift the tides, but uncertainty clawed at the edges of her spirit. The silver-furred female's declaration hung in the air, a fragile thread of hope woven into the daunting fabric of reality. Lyra glanced sideways at Kieran, whose gaze remained steadfast on the pack before them. She could sense his determination, the fierce love he felt for her igniting a spark within her that battled against the fierce swelling in her chest. Kieran, the dark-furred wolf, snapped, his voice a thunderstorm rolling through the crowd. You can seriously believe that the pack will accept this? We have traditions for a reason. Tradition? Kieran scoffed, his voice rising again, a growl barely contained. Tradition does not define love. I will not conform to a hierarchy that dictates who I can love. Lyra took a deep breath, her heart racing as she stepped beside him, feeling the heat of his rage and the depth of his conviction. I may be an Omega, but I am not powerless, she added, her voice steady and clear. I stand here as Kieran's choice, his mate. Love is the fiercest power of all. Power has its place, the dark-furred wolf replied, his tone laced with skepticism. What gives you the right to challenge our way of life? I am not challenging it, Lyra said, her heart pounding as she held her ground. I am asking you to see beyond the labels. I want to prove my worth, not just to Kieran, but to all of you. The murmurs grew louder, uncertainty rippling through the pack like a gusting wind. Kieran's grip on her hand tightened, a silent promise that he would fight alongside her. You will see her worth, he declared, his voice echoing with authority. Lyra carries the strength of the moon, and that strength can guide us through the darkest nights. A soft gasp from the silver-furred female caught Lyra's attention. But can it withstand the storms, Kieran? The pack needs stability, and Omega is not the answer. Lyra felt her chest tighten, the weight of the pack's history pressing down on her. I want to help the pack, she urged, her voice trembling with sincerity. I want to learn, to grow, to stand with you all, but I need your trust, just as Kieran needs yours. Suddenly, a low growl resonated behind her. Another wolf, older and grizzled, stepped forward, his eyes narrow with suspicion. Trust must be earned, he warned, his voice gravelly like the stones beneath their feet. And I see no reason for it. This bond you claim may shatter the very foundation of our pack. The tension thickened as Lyra's heart sank, dread wrapping around her like a vice. I understand your fears, she said gently, willing to reach out even as they pushed against her. But I promise to do whatever it takes to earn my place. I will not let fear dictate my love. Kieran's gaze flickered to her, a mix of admiration and concern etched across his features. Listen to her, he urged the pack, his voice firm. If you cannot see the strength in her now, you will be blind to the love that can unite us all. The dark-furred wolf scoffed. What if your love leads us into chaos? What if we fracture under the weight of it? Love nurtures strength, not weakness, Lyra responded, her heart racing. If I can bring hope to this pack, if I can help you see how we can thrive together, then we will not only survive, we will flourish. But the older wolf's eyes hardened, and Lyra felt the ground beneath her shift. You speak of dreams, Omega, but dreams do not feed the pack. We need a leader who can protect us, not a whimsical notion of love. I don't want to lead, Lyra replied, desperation creeping into her voice. I want to be part of something greater than myself, to be a bridge between worlds. You all have strengths I could never possess. I just want to give something back. Another wolf stepped into the fray, a young female with fiery spirit. Maybe we should give her a chance, she asked, willing to fight for us. Fight? The dark wolf scoffed. For what? To prove she belongs where she doesn't see fit? Kieran turned to Lyra, the intensity in his gaze igniting a fire within her. You need to show them, he urged, his voice low yet fierce. Show them what you can do, show them the power of your heart. In that moment, Lyra felt a shift inside her, a flicker of courage igniting into flames. The moonlight shimmered above, a reminder of her true essence. What if we train together? Lyra suggested, her heart pounding with the challenge. What if I faced your trials and proved I can contribute? The wolves murmured amongst themselves, uncertainty mingling with intrigue. Trials, the silver-furred female echoed, her eyes flickering with interest. What kind of trials do you propose? Let me run with you, Lyra urged, determination coursing through her veins. Let me train and fight alongside you. I can learn, I can adapt. You'll see that I am more than what you think. Kieran's eyes lit up with pride, even as he hesitated. That's dangerous, Lyra. They'll push you to your limits. I need to know what I am capable of, she replied, her voice steady. Would you trust me to prove it? Were you willing to take that risk? Kieran asked, searching her gaze with unwavering intensity. Yes, she replied without hesitation. For you, for the pack, I want to show them that love can bind us together, not tear us apart. The older wolf snorted, his skepticism palpable. A foolish notion. You think love can shield you from the brutal nature of our world? It can give us strength, Lyra insisted. If love can unite Kieran and me, then surely it can change the pack. I am willing to fight for our bond and for a place among you. A heavy silence settled as the pack mulled over her words, the weight of her commitment hanging thick in the air. Kieran's hand wrapped around her waist, a solid anchor against the storm. Then the silver-furred female stepped forward, her eyes glimmering with an understanding. I sense a spark within you, Lyra. Perhaps we should give this a chance, prove your worth in the trials. The dark wolf growled, but was silenced by the murmurs of the pack, a sense of intrigue weaving through their ranks. If you can withstand the trials, perhaps we will accept your bond with our alpha. Lyra's heart soared. Thank you, she breathed, her voice raw with emotion. I promise not to disappoint you. Let us begin tomorrow at dawn, the silver female declared, her voice commanding the attention of the pack. We'll see if the moon truly has the strength to stand beside the sun. As the pack began to disperse, murmured conversations swirling around them, Lyra felt a surge of hope mixed with the weight of the challenge ahead. Kieran turned to her, his expression both proud and worried. Are you sure you want to do this? I have to, Kieran, for us, for the love we share. He cupped her cheek, his thumb brushing across her skin, and a warmth radiated through her. I believe in you, Lyra, but be careful. Not all wolves will accept you. I know, she whispered, her heart racing. But I have you, and I won't let fear hold me back. This is more than just proving myself. It is about showing everyone that love can transcend boundaries. Kieran leaned in, capturing her lips in a gentle yet fervent kiss, a promise sealed under the watchful gaze of the moon. Together, he murmured against her mouth, their breaths mingling as their hearts beat in rhythm. Together, Lyra echoed, her spirit ignited by the fire of their connection. As the moon hung high above Bloodstone Valley, Lyra felt the weight of destiny upon her shoulders, a challenge that could either tear them apart or forge a new path for their love in a world defined by tradition. She could already feel the storm brewing on the horizon, but she also felt the pulse of hope, the love that surged between them like the tide. And with that love, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. As dawn broke over Bloodstone Valley, the first rays of sunlight illuminated the faces of Kieran and Lyra, revealing both the hope and the weight of uncertainty etched into their expressions. Promise of a new day mingled with the tension of the trials that awaited them. Lyra stood tall, her resolve bolstered by the warmth of Kieran's presence, yet her heart raced with the echoes of doubt. Are you ready? Kieran asked, his voice a low rumble filled with both encouragement and concern. He stood beside her, framed by the golden light, the embodiment of strength. Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill her lungs. I am, she replied, though the tremor in her voice betrayed her inner turmoil. I want he back down. His stormy grey eyes searched hers, and Lyra felt the weight of his gaze, a reminder of the bond they shared. Whatever happens today, remember that you are not alone, you are my moon. And you are my sun, she responded, her voice steadier this time. The connection between them pulsed with a fierce energy, a quiet assurance that they would face whatever challenges lay ahead together. As they drew closer to the clearing where the trials would take place, Lyra's heart raced. The Silverclaw pack had gathered, their expressions a mix of skepticism and curiosity as they awaited the day's events. The silver-furred female who had stood up for her the night before may have stepped forward, a determined glint in her eye. Today will test not just your strength, Lyra, but your spirit, Maeve declared, her voice carrying authority. If you wish to stand beside Kieran, you must prove yourself worthy before the pack. I understand, Lyra replied, her voice unwavering as she faced the pack. I will give everything I have. The dark-furred wolf, still skeptical, stepped forward, crossing his arms over his powerful chest. And should you fail, what then? Will you expect us to embrace a mate who cannot even endure the trials? The tension thickened in the air. Lyra felt Kieran's presence at her back, a steadfast support that ignited a fire within her. I will not fail, she declared, locking eyes with the dark wolf. I will show you what I am capable of. The challenge hung heavily in the air, and Maeve nodded, signaling for the first trial to begin. "We will start with agility," she announced. "You will race through the woods, navigating the obstacles we set, while the pack will remain to observe and judge." Lyra's heart pounded in her chest as she prepared for the trial. "You've got this," Kieran whispered, leaning down to brush a quick kiss against her forehead. The warmth of his touch surged through her, a reminder of what she was fighting for. "On your mark," Maeve called, her voice commanding. As Lyra took up position at the starting line, she could feel the eyes of the pack on her, their scrutiny heavy against her skin. "Get set, go." Lyra sprinted forward, her instincts kicking in as she weaved through the trees, her feet flying over the forest floor. She felt the rush of adrenaline pump through her, the thrill of the chase igniting every nerve ending. Each obstacle became an opportunity to prove herself, and she pushed her limits, the freedom of movement coursing through her veins. But just as she approached the final hurdle, a thick branch loomed ahead. A flicker of doubt threatened to overtake her, but she leaped, feeling the air rush past her as she soared. The pack watched in astonishment, their memories fading into the background as she landed with grace. As she crossed the finish line, her chest heaving with exertion, a cheer erupted from the pack. The disbelief on the dark-furred wolf's face was palpable, and Lyra felt a surge of triumph. Maybe she isn't just an omega after all, one wolf muttered, while another nodded in agreement. Kieran's pride swelled within him, and he stepped forward, his voice booming. "This is only the beginning. Lyra will show you what it means to stand united." But the dark wolf, not to be swayed so easily, crossed his arms. "She may have impressed with agility, but that is only one aspect of strength. Let us move to strength itself." The mood shifted, the tension thickening again as Lyra faced the weight of the next challenge. This time, 2 strong wolves, one on either side of her, would test her physical capabilities in a contest of strength. "Ready?" Eve asked, her gaze steady. Lyra nodded, determination flooding through her. The 2 wolves charged, and she focused, summoning every ounce of strength she had. As they collided with her, she felt the impact ripple through her, but she grounded herself, digging her feet into the earth. With a grunt, she pushed back against the weight, channeling the moonlight coursing through her veins, a fierce light against the darkness surrounding her. For a moment, the world was a blur, the only sound the pounding of her heart echoing in her ears. Finally, she broke free, surprising her opponents with a burst of power. The pack erupted in cheers, their doubts wavering as Lyra held her ground. Yet, the dark wolf's scowl deepened. Impressive, but strength without endurance is meaningless, he challenged, stepping forward. "Let us see how long you can last against me." The shift in energy was palpable as Lyra prepared herself for the next trial. Kieran's presence was a steady flame beside her, and she leaned into it, embracing the warmth it provided. "Remember, Lyra," he whispered, his lips close to her ear, "you are stronger than you know." The dark wolf lunged at her with unrelenting ferocity, and Lyra parried, dodging and weaving as their bodies clashed. The pack watched with bated breath as she fought to keep her footing, summoning the strength of the moon within her. Yet, the dark wolf was relentless, his strength almost overwhelming. Doubt began to creep in as Lyra felt the weight of his power pressed down on her. "You read just an omega," he sneered, taunting her as he pushed her back. "Stop." Kieran's voice roared, an edge of fury weaving through his tone. "You will not speak to her that way." But Lyra couldn't focus on him, the dark wolf's assault drawing her into a spiral of frustration and self-doubt. With each blow, a piece of her resolve began to falter. Then she remembered the moonlight, the way it had always guided her, illuminating the path even in the darkest nights. "I am not just an omega," she shouted, her voice ringing through the clearing. "I am a part of this pack. I am Kieran Esme." With renewed strength, she surged forward, channeling everything she had into a decisive strike. The earth seemed to quake as she connected, and shock rippled through the dark wolf as he stumbled back, eyes wide with disbelief. The pack erupted into cheers, and Lyra felt the tide of their support wash over her. "You have proven yourself today," Maeve declared, stepping forward with a proud smile. "But there is one final trial." The dark wolf regained his composure, his expression a mix of annoyance and begrudging respect. "And that is?" "Heart," Maeve replied, her voice steady. "You must face the ultimate choice, a test of loyalty and sacrifice." Lyra's heart sank. The final trial felt weighted with unspoken dangers, but Kieran, his hand clasped around her, is grounding her. "Whatever it is, we'll all face it together," he assured her, his confidence igniting a spark of courage within her. Maeve gestured toward the edge of the clearing, where an ancient stone altar stood beneath the boughs of a massive oak tree. "You will each place something of great value upon the altar. It can be a physical object or a memory, but it must represent your bond to this pack." Lyra's heart raced as she stepped forward, anxiety clawing at her throat. What if I can find something worthy? Kieran squeezed her hand. You have everything you need within you, Lyra. Trust your heart. The pack looked on, their expressions a mix of curiosity and anticipation. One by one, members placed their tributes, tokens of their history and love for the pack. When it was Lyra's turn, she closed her eyes, the whispers of her heart guiding her. She felt the bond with Kieran sweep over her, the love they shared stronger than any material possession. I place my heart, she declared, stepping forward. I offer all that I am for this pack and for the love I share with Kieran. The altar flickered with a soft light, and Lyra gasped as the energy radiated outward, a glow illuminating the faces of the pack. She felt the connection deepen, the love weaving its way through each member as they shared in that moment. But the dark wolf stepped forward, his expression hardening. And what about sacrifice? You may speak of love, but can you truly commit to this bond?